Triple E EDC back again with another knife video. This is the CRKT Pilar. It is about time I reviewed this knife. I have gone quite some time without reviewing this knife, and honestly, it was one of the best budget knives of, I think it was last year or the year before, 2018, 2019. Let's see where it stacks up in the market now, and you know, if I think it's a good budget knife. So let's go ahead and do some size comparisons first. So as far as size comparisons, let's go ahead and start with the Native 5 here. And you can see it's much smaller than the Native 5. Let's go ahead and do the Benchmade 945. Now we're getting closer in size here. But since we have the 945, let's also go ahead and do the Benchmade 940. As you can see, much smaller than the 940. Let's go ahead and let's look at some other small knives. How about the Spyderco Chapparal? Still smaller than the Chapparal. Spyderco Meerkat. Okay, so the Meerkat is the first knife we've seen that's actually smaller than the CRKT Pilar. And let's see, do I have any other smaller knives? It's probably good to put up a Swiss Army knife here, just so you guys can see that size. So here's the Tinker. Tinker is still larger. And I think that should do it. Oh, you know what? There's one other knife I want to put up against here, which is the CJRB Rhea, because the Rhea is a good budget option. Obviously, the feldspar is going to be quite a bit larger, the 3.5-inch feldspar. So let's go ahead and talk about this knife. So this is so the good on this knife, the price on this knife is awesome. I mean, right off the bat, the price on this thing is like 20 bucks. You can get this at 20 bucks, you know, most of the time. I think I've seen it some places for 24, 25, but I think on Amazon it's still 20, or you know, in plenty of other places still 20. So 20 bucks for, you know, for this design is awesome. I really have to commend them on the price on this. As far as the materials, you know, the stainless steel handles I actually like in a budget knife, so I actually view that as a plus. We'll get to the blade material later. You know, this is a Voxnace design, and as you can see right here, there you go, Voxnace design. So this is a Voxnace design, and you know, you can usually tell that because he likes these sort of stouter blades here with the you know, tic-tac shaped hole, and he loves the choil up here. So you know, he likes being able to fit the knife on the choil in your hand rather than, you know, sort of gripping it like this. So this is very reminiscent of a lot of the stuff that he does, and it's very cool to be able to pick up one of his designs for the price. In addition, this actually flicks out fairly well. Now, it does take some getting used to as far as flicking this out. When I first started flicking this out, it was very difficult, mainly because where you place stuff on your hand. So, you know, for example, if I'm flicking out a pair of 3, right? So this is going to go on my hand here, and you know, this is going to go here, and you can see I'm resting it on the hand here. Well, the problem is this is too short for that. So you're going to reposition your hands, and it'll take some getting used to, a little annoyance. At first, I didn't like it as much, and then after a while, I got used to it, and then it was no problem. So it just takes some getting used to, some adjusting. But now I actually like flipping out the knife. I think it's a plus on here. The clip on here actually is pretty good. Makes this a good 5th pocket knife. It's small enough to be a 5th pocket knife, and you don't need the deep carry on here, frankly. So I think this is good as well. The lock bar tension here is good. You know, sometimes with the steel frame locks, they're hit or miss, but they really got that dialed in very well, so I was very happy to see that. Also, you know, it's steel on steel, so there's no lock stick, which is also very nice. And the other thing is the ergonomics. I'm sorry, I forgot about the ergonomics. So the ergonomics on this are actually excellent. For such a small knife, this is going to be like an 8 I would say an 8.5 on ergonomics. 8.5 out of 10. This is very, very good ergonomically, and that's one of the things Voxnace is known for. But this is just very, very good ergonomically. And it's one of the reasons it's so popular. So, so there you go. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the bad. So the bad is, you know, CRKT likes to billboard a lot. As you see, it's all over the knife. There, you know, there. I don't love the billboarding, so, you know, that's a deal for me, as they say. Also, really don't like when companies put their you know, brand on the clip. That's a contrasting that contrasts the actual clip color. Like when Benchmade does a little butterfly on the knife like this, I don't mind that, right? Because it sort of blends in. But when you're just advertising it out, like straight out, that you know, you got a CRKT in your pocket, and it's not because CRKT is, you know, not a good brand or whatever, you don't want to see someone to see you're carrying a CRKT. It's because I don't need people knowing the clip in my pocket's a knife, right? And if it's just that apparent, then, you know, then it is what it is. I mean, any of us know when we see clips what it is, but the rest of the public doesn't, and it's probably better that they just don't know, right? So there's that. Now, one of the things that just to be aware of on this is the blade material is 8CR 13 MOV. You know, for 20 bucks, it's okay. It's not terrible. 8CR is usable. It sharpens up very easily, takes a really, really nice edge. But, you know, 8CR is also, it doesn't edge hold very well. And, you know, I think the heat treat is sort of hit or miss from what I understand. I'm not a heat treat expert on some of these CRKTs. I don't know if the Pilar is one of the affected issues. Now, in addition, I think the pivot here is unimaginative, and, you know, the hardware here obviously is T6. So now this is a small knife, so it's not terrible, but it is T6 hardware. Last but not least is the thickness of the blade here. So this is a thick blade, frankly, and you know, for such a small knife, you really, really want a slicier blade, because the reason you want a thick blade is for heavy duty tasks. Like when I think of wanting a thick blade, you know, I think of this knife, or, you know, this knife, you know, big knives that are just really heavy duty. This is the XM24. This is the Medford Marauder. Just big, heavy duty, you know, folders. That's what I think of when I want a heavy-duty knife. I don't know that there's really a need for a heavy-duty tiny knife. It just seems a little stupid, to be honest. Sorry to be so blunt, but it is what it is. I mean, this thing, look how thick that is behind the edge. You know, just as a comparison, here's the CJRB Rhea, right? Look at the thicknesses behind the edge there. I mean, the Rhea is so much thinner behind the edge. So much thinner, right? And look at the stocks. So I think you can see it's a little bit crazy to me, especially the Rhea's $35 knife. You can get a much better slicer, you know, with a longer blade. And so, you know, I don't love that. All right, so can I recommend this knife? Honestly, it's a fun little knife. And if that's all you're after, and, you know, you want something that's a fifth pocket knife, yeah, I can recommend it. If you've got a lot of knives and you just want, you know, another knife, and this is not not something that, you know, you're going to depend on every day, yes, I can recommend it. If you're wondering, is this going to be your one EDC that you want, you need, and you should take everywhere? No, I don't think it should be. And frankly, I'm going to tell everyone who asks that the CJRB Rhea is a better option, even though it's a little bit more expensive. If you want another option that is the same price, actually cheaper, so the CRKT, this is also a CRKT, this is the LCK. This is on sale right now. If you're viewing the video at the time that it's made, this is on sale right now at Ruger's shop for $15. This is normally a $30 knife. $15. So this is a cheaper knife. This is very, very thin behind the edge. It is a hollow grind. See if you can see that. Come on, focus. There you go. It's a hollow grind. Look at the difference between these two things, right? So this thing is a lot of fun actually to play with as well, because it has this when it comes down is almost like a double D10, right? So it really is a lot of fun to play with, and it's just a good shape. This comes in two shapes. This is the reverse tanto. They also come in a drop point, I believe, in satin. And so, yeah, if you're going to ask me, you know, right now in December of 2020, should you buy this knife as an EDC? I would say no, buy this knife. So much of a slimmer profile, you know. I mean, sure, this is not a fifth pocket knife, but look at the difference in slimness and profile. The blade slice here, it's more fun to play with. It's lighter, so because this is actually pretty heavy. I forgot to put that in the negatives. This is a heavy knife because of the fact that it's stainless steel. So, you know, overall, I would say in the 2020 landscape, this is good, but not great. And I know that's probably unpopular because a lot of people love this knife, but I'll just say good, but not great. So thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and the subscribe button so you get all my content. And go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know if you like this knife, if you disagree with me at all. I'm happy to, you know, have that discussion with you guys. Go ahead and drop that comment below. Thanks so much.